Today we are here at Peram Group's Eco City at Hoskote, and I'm very excited to speak to a key person, Director of Sales Peram Group, Mr. Gautam Shetty. Can't wait to explore Eco City more. So let's go. Before we dive into today's episode, let's talk about finding your perfect home without the usual real estate headaches. Welcome to Get Right Property, your personal real estate advisory platform. We've been doing one thing incredibly well, guiding people straight to the right property, matching their exact needs, and locking in the absolute best deals on the market. At Get Right Property, you get direct builder pricing with zero hidden fees and total transparency. If you book your property through us, we'll gift you the latest iPhone as a special thank you. With a progressive leadership, the Peram Group builds on a 30-year distinguished legacy. Accumulating the experiences, they bring their master planned ambitious villa project, the Eco City, a 48-acre marvel. Today, we have Director of Sales Peram Group, Mr. Gautam Shetty, with us as a guest on Inside Get Right Property, your trusted real estate partner. Welcome, sir.
Oh, thank you, Ananya. Pleasure having you here.
Thank you so much for having us. And firstly, I feel it is not easy to acquire something so huge and start a project. So congratulations on
Thank
Eco
you.
City.
Thank you very much. You see, Peram Group has got a history of 30 plus years in the real estate space, and we are one of the big players of South India.
Yeah.
Okay, we have our projects in Hyderabad, Vizag, Tirupati, and now Bangalore, recently in Bangalore. So we are about 91 projects completed with about 25 million square foot completed, with another 20 million going forward under progress. And we have, the best part is we have about 25 plus thousand customers who are a happy family of Peram Group. And that's a big positive I take from my group, okay? If 25,000 people are happy, then we've done our job very religiously and very trustedly. We've taken care of those 25,000 people.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that 25,000 is growing every day, I feel.
Yeah, I think we're growing in size. So obviously real estate is a progressive industry, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And housing is a big sector in the Indian national arena. So I'm sure, yes, the progress is good, and we'll have many more thousands coming in quick time.
So the whole Peram Group is, I guess, excited about the new project that is Eco City. So what is the actual vision behind this 48-acre landmark project?
You see, Peram has been in Bangalore for about 5 years now. We started our journey sometime 2015, 2017. We have our specialization in plotted development all over South India. And for the first time also in Bangalore, we had 2 large-scale plotted developments which are sold out as of now, okay? And even Peram Eco City was conceived as a plotted development. But seeing the changes in the real estate space, where Hoskote was gaining a lot of importance in terms of growth, and the nearby micro market of Whitefield was getting saturated, and it was becoming difficult for people to own some lifestyle villas. So I think the management felt it as an add value to the plotted segment which was conceived, and we converted that into a villa concept. Okay, that's how this 48 acres has been conceived as a largest development of Hoskote from a villa perspective. Okay, and that's the whole idea of converting the value from a plotted development to a villa development, okay? Because villas are getting very difficult to procure in the micro markets which are saturated, like your Whitefield or Sarjapur, etc., okay? So we felt there is a big demand, big need for good-sized villas at a very good price, and that's how we converted that into a villa concept. Peram Eco City has become now a very prestigious villa project in east of Bangalore. Yeah.
So you say there people are looking for villa style of living, and there is demand for it. Why do you think it is happening now?
You see, there has been a lot of clutter in the markets which are saturated. Like I'm coming back to Whitefield, Sarjapur, or Electronic City side, and all these parts of Bangalore, South Bangalore, Coimbatore, Kanakpura Road, okay, Benagata Road is all getting crowded. So Even the lifestyles have evolved with people. They are kind of getting cramped. There's much greenery not available there. Okay, the space for wellness is very limited. Okay, so with 48 acres of expanse, with a lot of greenery, and the theme of Eco City gives you that whole pleasure of servicing these people who are looking for good lifestyle, enhanced lifestyle for that matter, and also a wellness part which is playing a very critical role in today's lifestyle. Okay, wellness is a very highly discussed topic in today's young breed of working professionals. So I think we are catering to that very specific need which is generally not available in the crowded markets of Whitefield and the other markets of Bangalore. So we felt, I think the youngsters and the age groups of 35 and 40 should tilt towards the Hoskote for a good villa style living.
We are in conversation with Mr. Gautam Shetty of Peram Group. If you want the details of Eco City, you know what to do. Get in contact with Get Right Property. Our expert team will help you with latest updates, pricing listings, inventory guidance, booking assistance. So call us at 888 444 0963. And also, people say that what Hoskote is today is what Whitefield was a few years ago. So do you think there's a possibility that Hoskote might be the next residential hub or employment hub?
I think what you're asking me is on the spot. It is no rocket science to understand this. It is a very natural phenomena in real estate. Okay, wherever there is a connectivity, wherever there is an infrastructure which is built in, wherever there is a professional, kind of openings for people, and those hubs have to grow automatically. Okay, and that we've seen happening very genuinely in Whitefield, Sarjapur, and Kanakpura Road. Now Devanhalli is picking momentum, and I see Hoskote taking the same leap as the Devanhalli in quick time. So it's an obvious conclusion that Whitefield, Sarjapur, Kanakpura Road, and your Banagata Road have evolved very typical manners. Okay, there's no kind of deviation in what we are seeing in real estate. I've been a professional for 20 years, so I've seen this literally happen. Okay, I've serviced homes with buyers who have bought homes 20 years back. I've serviced homes people who have bought 10 years back. Okay, and I've seen the evolvement of these markets, what you asked me about, has evolved in the same fashion, and today they're all full. So there is no other option in east of Bangalore but Hoskote, which is definitely going to be the next most popular hub of residential requirements for people of Bangalore, particularly people who are working in the east of Bangalore. Yeah.
And we also see a lot of infrastructural development. There's Satellite Town Ring Road, the Aerospace Park, and so much more. So what all more infrastructural development might happen in the next few years, 5 to 10 years?
You see, like I just mentioned now, infra is a given, connectivity is a given, and the money which comes along with infrastructure and your connectivity, it is no story about real estate growth. It is a science. Okay, we don't have to really guess what's happening. It is typically a science model, a model which has evolved, which has practically grown to size in Bangalore, in parts of the growing hubs of Bangalore. So eventually, I think Hoskote has got all the most driving forces which are going to definitely help Hoskote go to that level automatically. Like you just mentioned, STRR Road, your ORR Road, Outer Ring Road, okay, your airport is nearby, okay, and the IT hub is Whitefield, which is about 20-25 minutes to the junction of Whitefield, okay. So I think from a commute perspective and from the growth of Hoskote, I think Hoskote will definitely gain momentum in quick time. Yeah.
And I guess Eco City holds, they also carry the line, the capital of Hoskote. So we never know, Eco City might act like a capital to Hoskote.
You see now, we had a little brainstorming in the office about what is the tagline we give our project, okay, Peram's villa project. Like I just told you that we are specialists in plotted development all over South India. So even Eco City was initially conceived as a plotting development, okay? But then having seen Whitefield mature in its growth in the land spaces available and the projects which are available for a common good living person, we felt that we should give it a new tagline, a new kind of curiosity kind of a name, okay? And generally, I think Bangalore has become popular with a code name to begin with. When you don't have the internal infra ready, like an experience center, what you saw a little while ago, it is not in place when we conceived the project as a villa, okay? So Peram engaged me and my teams who are professionals for a long time, and we've delivered a few big projects from a launch to go-to-market strategy. So we said, now if we bang on the same name as the Eco City plots and get into a villa, the minds may not get shifted the way we want them to shift, okay? It's like you're packaging your Bormita or your Nescafe or Diet Cola. Cola is cola, okay? But there's a new tag which comes on the packaging, Diet Cola. So when I go to the shelf, I look at cola and I see Diet Cola, I pick up a Diet Cola because that's what I need. Okay, cola is regular, more sugar, etc., etc. But Diet Cola hit my mind. I said, okay, let me start drinking Diet Cola. And that little thought process worked deep in the minds of our team completely, the sales team and the marketing team, and of course the management people. And we conceived this idea of Capital of Hoskote for two big reasons. One is the tagline, which has to be different from the plotted development mindset. Okay. Secondly, like you have Delhi as the capital of India. Why do we call Delhi as the capital of India? Because it is the powerhouse of India. Okay, all the international decisions or the major decisions what the government of India wants to do is happening in Delhi. All the delegates around the world come to Delhi. So Delhi is the powerhouse of India. Okay. Likewise, another example I want to give you is Bombay is the capital of commerce, capital of money, okay, financial capital of India. Now coming to my own city, Bangalore, you are like, it is the capital of IT, okay, and which is internationally very, very famous, okay. I think every person in the world knows that Bangalore is the IT hub of India. And these little things, brought our thinking into a conclusive reason why we had to name capital of Hoskote. Like I said, A is, as of today, we are the biggest development in Hoskote. From a land parcel perspective, we are about 48 acres of land parcel, okay? From a villa volume, it's about 750 villas, which we didn't see in Hoskote as of now. And going forward, I don't see it happening in quick time. So at least for now, we thought we'll attract or incite some excitement and curiosity in the minds of home buyers to say, hey man, you're coming to capital of Hoskote. Why don't you take a look at that, okay? So I think that little tagline and the code name brought us some awareness, and there was a deep campaign going forward, okay? In the hoardings, in the digital media, in the portals, what is available to us, okay? All areas of marketing penetration was undertaken by this code name capital of Hoskote. And I think it brought a lot of inclination towards our product from the buyers of villa in the east of Bangalore, okay? And that's how the name evolved as capital of Hoskote, okay? Now, if you look at the term capital in commerce terms or in practical terms, it is money, okay? Now, we are exciting or enticing the buyers to come to capital of Hoskote for the simple reason that they're getting a lovely lifestyle facility of a villa and a very large wellness feel in the villa concept of 48 acres, okay? The next bit of that capital meaning was that we are allowing our customers to come at an early entry point. Generally, whatever is early is priced at a very nominal price, okay? Real estate in particular, when you have a launch of a new product, is generally at a very reasonably priced levels for people to come in and get a feel of the property and give the benefit to the early buyers on price advantage, okay? So we have optimistically felt that a price at what we're offering and the price going forward the next year and two should appreciate quite substantially, and the money part is growing rapidly with the investment is making. So it's capital growth, okay? And going forward, we thought that an increase of about 10-20% of price is definitely going to be a lot of capital positives for people who are buying. So
True.
two very strong things made us decide the capital of Hoskote.
Yes.
One is your parcel of land and the number of villas, which is huge.
Yeah.
And we are the only people who have that kind of a facility just now. And from initial early bird entry or early, confirmation of your investment, I think we are giving them a huge upside on what he can make in the next 1 or 2 years. So we thought capital was apt to make that little attraction go forward, okay? And that has helped us quite a bit in terms of relaunching our product from a villa, from a plotted development to a villa. And I think the momentum has been good, the interest has been good.
Yes.
So we're quite pleased with what we've done. So I think capital of Hoskote was very unique in its own manner. Not many have thought of this unique code name. Okay, you have a lot of sky and green and a lot of these nice little poetic names. Okay, we thought we'll make it very attractive from a money perspective and a size perspective, and that's how we coined it as the capital of Hoskote.
Yes.
Yeah.
I guess it has added a lot to the project. Maybe a lot of viewers knew capital for one reason. Now they know
exactly what we
behind.
mean by offering them this lovely product called Eco City. Okay.
So when it comes to Eco City, a villa style apartment, and the pricing also we were discussing, at the same price, they can also afford an apartment in the Whitefield, but having an independent villa here, how do you feel a buyer's lifestyle will be upgraded, especially at Eco City?
A is a very contrasting apartment buy in Whitefield or any of the developed markets of Bangalore, and a villa per se in the outskirts of Bangalore. There's a huge contrast between what advantages you have. Okay, one is the size. You don't get the size what a villa is offering you. Okay, I made a little research in the apartments available with some of the established players and some of the good players in the marketplace. A 3-bedroom villa and a 3-bedroom apartment is at best the size of about 1,850 to 2,000 square feet. Okay, and today Whitefield is at the price range of about 2 crores plus, or 2.5 crore plus. Okay, and that's you're in an apartment kind of culture where you don't have much openness, you don't have so much of
Space.
wellnesses kind of things and all that. Well, apartment has got its own advantages for whatever it is good for. Okay, but comparing the two, one is a huge size variation. I am offering a 3,000 villa at the same price probably. Okay, and that's a huge benefit for a family which is growing. If you have a family with 2 kids, and normally today's times, I think people who are migrating from urban towns of India are also having their parents come in. Okay, so definitely a 3-bedroom is still a limiting factor. So if you're paying a 2 crore plus for an apartment of 1,800 square feet, you may be limited in size, limited in your convenience. Okay, so I think in a villa with a 3,000 square foot at the same price, it's a huge benefit from a space proposition. Okay. Today, it's more of not having a roof over your head. Okay, if you look at the scenario post-COVID, the thinking on a home has become very different from a house per se. Earlier, it was, I need a house. Now you need a house, but you need space, more important than house. Okay, so I think now people who are buying a home are moving their mindset from a requirement of home to a requirement of more space. I think that's where we, again, have a big edge on the apartments and the villas. Okay. Now, if you look at my villa now, it's a 3,000 square foot super built-up area. Okay, if you take a 2,000 square foot built-up area in an apartment, there is something called the loading factor, which absorbs all your internal use spaces. Okay, for your staircases, for your lift, and for your common areas, etc. So about 20-30% goes away from your actual usage. Okay, so the carpet area is down by 30%. So if it's a 2,000 square foot apartment, about 600 to 700 square foot is gone away by not having to use it. It's definitely a requirement. The staircase, the lift is all a requirement, but actual usage for a 2,000 SBA, what you convey to the buyers, okay, your actual usage is about 600 less than your 2,000 square feet. Okay, so you're paying for less, you're paying more for less. Whereas in our villa concepts, I see you're paying less for more. It's the reverse of what you get in a villa and an apartment. Okay. And the expanse of 48 acres of greenery, nature, If you look at the common communication which transpire when you sit down for a cup of tea or a family gathering, we're all talking about pollution and a concrete jungle and not much to play for the kids, etc. Not much of safety around your apartment cultures. Okay, so I think that is another changeover a villa owner gets. Okay, he's getting freedom to play. He's got lovely parks to play on, freedom to play, security not a problem. All right, and a lot of fresh air. And eco is all about greenery. Okay, so it's all built around green. And that's a big tagline all over the world. Okay, if you see people talking internationally, they're all talking about sustenance and weather management, etc. So I think aptly my Villa Eco City, I think takes care of all these basic requirements of today's generation and today's house buying requirements. So I think we are there perfectly in time and in what people are requiring.
Yes, and I feel we are also having a perfect place to sit and have this conversation, because I'd like to tell the viewers as well that we are right here at Peram Group Eco City, and this is a model villa and it already feels like a home, and it's like having a conversation with him in the living room and I guess a cup of coffee.
Thank you. Trust me, I've had about 100 visitors in the last month and a half. Okay, 100 really good, interested people. Okay. Now, I have not had a single family telling me your villa is not good or villa has got some limitations. Everybody has appreciated my design. The usage of space in my villa is so good. I have not had a single guy casually telling me also that there is something wrong, that there's something wrong here, which is a great credit to my design. Okay, I think my architect has done a fabulous job in giving a space in a 1,200 square foot plot with a 5-bedroom, with a theater, what is entertainment for the family, and a little party place on the balcony, awesome. Okay, so I think one of the nice things about design is beautifully used space management in the villa. Okay, and the compliments come from people who came and visited me. Okay, so I take it for granted that I'm not giving a bull or I'm not telling a lie about my design. It's coming honestly from the customer's viewpoint. Okay.
True. And there's a lot of things to appreciate when it comes to the villa design particularly. But what do you think if a buyer is here and he's very much interested in it? Which are the 3 most important elements or highlights that you would like to mention who's actually looking for something like this?
I think the size of the villa, the cost is going to move from his pocket for the money is being spent. I think it's a unique proposition. Okay. We have some great offers going ahead with the early bookings of the launch of the villa. Okay, we have something called the no pre-EMI scheme, which is a huge saving on the pockets of my buyers. Okay, the requirement of housing loan is the tune of about 2 crores of rupees. Okay, my property is about 2.5 crores, the value of all put together. So about 25%, 20% comes from your own contribution, which is the Reserve Bank of India's requirement. Okay, so about 40-50 lakhs he has to pay in the course of his journey until he takes over the handover of the house. Okay, so for a 2 crore loan, we have worked with the bankers very religiously and understood what is the burden of interest the customer has to pay for a borrowing of 2 crores. So it came to a number of about 85 to a lakh of rupees. So we benchmarked it as 1 lakh of rupees per month. And since my delivery is 12 to 15 months, we have given the facility of paying it out from our company's pockets to take the burden of that interest, which is quite steep. And it's a happy situation for a buyer. Okay, even if I'm shelling out $100 on a tea bill, I get hurt when I'm pulling out money from the pocket. That's human psychology. Okay, so if I don't let my customer pull out that lakh of rupees every month on month, I think he is a very happy person. Okay, he can use it for many other reasons of home domestic requirements. Okay, so I think that big facility we are giving him from no pre-EMI offer, right? We're also giving him a very attractive flexi payment option. Now we are new in Bangalore. We're not very old. We're about 4 or 5 years old in Bangalore. So it takes a while for people to understand who we are, what we are and all that, okay? So to relax on the mindset of the people, to make a tilt or a commitment towards Peram Group, and not to make it very difficult for them to make an invest with us, we said, okay, your price is about 2.5 crores for a villa of 3,000 square feet. Okay, you pay the way you are comfortable. Okay, we're not putting any rules on the table. We're asking the customer to put his comfort zone on the table, and if the comfort zone meets my requirement of moving the project or the property in his favor, I will do that for him. Okay, there are some disclaimers or some small conditions there, but it's not very serious in nature. We're trying to help him come into a villa community where his lifestyle in the next 2 years is going to be very enhanced. It's going to be a different lifestyle for him. So we're trying to bring him in, as Hoskote is a growth zone. Okay, it's a little early in the day for Hoskote to evolve as a very socially and civic driven community. Okay, it takes a while for every new geography to grow and build that little comfort. So to avoid a little bit of these uneasy elements of buying a villa, we're making it financially comfortable for the buyer. Okay, so he doesn't worry about his money flow outside his system, but we give him the comfort of owning a lovely villa and a long-term lifestyle facility of having good life. And of course, the wellness is a very big element which I am driving with my customers, and they're all pleased with the way we are managing it for them. Okay. Then if you see the local market of Hoskote, where villas are getting mushroomed, there's a lot of villas are evolving, a lot of villas are being launched. Okay. To be very confident about my pricing, which is very reasonable and fair. Okay. I've done a research. I'm a little data-oriented man, so I like to understand data before I make a disclosure with my opposite sides. Okay. Most of the villas are in the range of 9, 10, 11, 12,000 rupees per square feet. Okay. So I'm at an 8,000 rupees, which is $1,000, 1,000 rupees more than, less than many of the other villa concepts. Okay. So 1,000 rupees is about 30 lakhs of benefit on the booking side. When you book, you're up by already 30 lakhs of rupees. Okay. If it's a 2-year period, it's a 60 lakhs. By the time I deliver the whole project, it's about 2 years. So the capital appreciation, like we discussed earlier in the day, okay, the appreciation is about 60 lakhs of rupees. Okay, comparatively what the others are offering in the marketplace. You take an apartment also, like again we discussed this a little while ago, the Whitefield is in the range of about 12 to 15,000 rupees per square feet.
Yes.
Okay, I'm at 8. So there's a huge gap of about 4,000 to 5,000 rupees per square feet. Okay, and you can see the advantage what we're getting. Okay, so I spoke about 60 lakhs from a very 1,000 rupees, 2,000 rupees of a price variation between me and some of the players in the villa segment in Hoskote and our region. So if you're comparing an apartment, the appreciation or the savings, his profits are very huge. So I think these are elements which I wish my customers take into cognizance and make a good decision with buying a villa in Eco City, Peram Eco City.
I'm making notes, sir.
Yeah, good, okay.
Yeah. So actually, you're telling that if we are interested in buying this place, we'll have a lot of financial benefits and something which is not just eco-friendly, it's also pocket-friendly to the buyer.
Yeah, I'm just confirming with you that we have not moved the price to a level where the Tier 1 developers are in the marketplace. Okay, we've been reasonable. If you look at the evolvement of new launches in Hoskote and the periphery of Hoskote, we had Godrej at about 12,000 rupees. We had the Shobha One World, which launched about a week ago, okay, at 14,000 rupees. We have another nice group called the Assets Group, which have launched a project in Hoskote Road again. Okay, it's about 11,500 rupees per square feet. Okay, and there's all apartments where you don't get a size what I'm offering. Okay, and the convenience of travel is just about 20 minutes from Shobha One World and a 10 minutes drive from Assets new launch. Okay, so I'm trying to make sense with my buyers that a difference of 10 minutes of journey with a double the size of what an apartment can offer you. Okay, here's the villa. Okay, why not?
So actually, it can also be like just a random question, as in when you compare Eco City with the other players in the market, you can easily quote this in a even higher price because of the amenities it's providing, because of the every infrastructure that's here is providing more than the other properties. So you can easily actually price it more.
Yeah, you're making sense. You're really saying the honest thing what we could have done.
Yeah.
But realistically, I told you we're a new group in Bangalore. We are a first villa project in Bangalore. So I didn't want to make it very steep to the buyers who are getting engaged with us to say that we don't know the legacy much. So we're not sure about what is the commitments going forward. So at least from a financial point of view, and then explaining the legacy of our 30 years of journey in South India, I thought we should have a very reasonably decent entry-level pricing, because appreciation is another serious element we're trying to drive with our buyers. If I price it the way you said that Hoskote is growing at speed, you could have marked it a little higher. But that was not the intent. The intent was for our buyers to come in and buy the villa, and if it's an investment or a resale proposition or a rental proposition, okay, we need to give them a return on investment. That was a bigger thinking what Peram Group had in his mind, and that's why we priced that level. Another strong reason for that was we didn't have the established players in Hoskote directly close to us.
Okay.
Now, I mentioned Shobha, I mentioned assets. They're a little away from us on the main road, okay? Now, I'm a little internal, by a distance of 10 minutes, that's not a big deal. But having said that, we said if once the bigger players are very close to my development, like a Prestige or a Shobha or a Godrej kind of people, I'll have the liberty of moving my price automatically in the way you want them to move. Okay, you just mentioned a very critical, very interesting topic about price. One of the very sensitive parts of a product is price.
Yes.
But not literally. Okay, to me and the most buyers, price doesn't come at the first instance. It's the product mix which is more important. The location, the convenience, the quality, many of these things. Okay, like the wellness, I've been repeating wellness regularly. Okay, so it's a lifestyle and it's the way you want to live your life next 5 years. Okay, it's not today. Today you might look at it as a raw kind of development, but as we finish the property in 2 years' time, your lifestyle is going to move very differently, and that's what everybody is envisaging in the way they want to live in Bangalore. Okay, so that's where we are. So if I have a price point justified at about 1,000, 2,000 rupees more, okay, I could have done that, but we felt it's not the right approach just now.
Yes.
As a new group from South India, we thought let's excite the people on investment, get them a nice big villa, and then as the established players come to Hoskote, I've got about 750 villas, so I've got ample time to move my averages slowly and gradually. Okay, real estate has got something called the average price. Okay, so I may sell it at a very decently low price, not low price, a good reasonable price, but as the area is evolving, okay, I have ample opportunity to move my price upwards. Okay, and then the buyers will not have a chance to see the prices going backwards. It's always going upwards. There's a very big thumb rule. Once the established players come into the place, okay, there's no reason why the price is going to go down. It's always going to go up. Okay, so I'm not there in that position just now because the established guys are not next to me immediately. They're a little here. Okay, so I'm just taking it a little easy, invite my early buyers, give them the big benefit of what we're promising, and that is bound to happen for my buyers. Okay, and
I guess Peram Group will be the established players here because this is the capital of.
We are setting that trend. Absolutely, no doubt about that. I give you two strong reasons why we named it capital. Okay,
yes, so
one is your appreciation, which we are committing very seriously, and it is in my table to move the price. Okay, I don't have to keep the price at the same level. I move it upwards. The early buyer at 8, in 2 years' time, I've already declared that to the market very officially. Okay, that I'm going to move my price by the exit of this property. I'm going to market at 10. So there's a clean 2,000 rupees optimistic appreciation what Peram is committing.
Yeah.
Okay. And if there are established players coming soon, it may be more than 10. My customers are going to be very pleased with what I'm offering. Okay.
Very true.
Yeah.
Yes, so when a buyer is actually, like as we are talking about this, buys a villa here, will he be also the owner of the land, or is it the UDS concept? How does the land work
we
here?
have, like you said just now, the big proportion advantage is you're owning your own land.
Yes.
Okay, unlike the apartments where you get a small portion of the land which is available as a development parcel. Okay,
Yeah.
so if it's a 2-acre property, maybe the buyer gets a 5-10% of the land share. That's the undivided land share. Okay,
Yeah.
but the big plus is you get the whole piece of land in your favor. It's registered in your name, so you're the proud owner of that 1,200 square feet, which is a huge benefit. Okay, now there is one parameter in real estate where UDS plays a very critical role in resale and these kind of things.
yeah,
Okay, many people don't believe the construction cost, because once it gets old by 10, 20, 30, 40 years, the building has depreciated and it's come to a zero kind of situation. So most investors nationally and worldwide look at what is the land available to them post taking delivery of their new property. So UDS larger, you have a great resale proposition.
Yes.
If I am a buyer of a apartment, okay, I would look at the UDS more critically than the size of the apartment. Because for me, UDS plays a bigger role from a real estate purchase.
Yes.
Because my resale value is mostly on UDS. Okay, so if you take my villa, there is no deviation. Okay, I'm not worried about what UDS is all about. It is a 95, 99% UDS, you're getting 100%. Okay, unlike I just mentioned to you earlier, that an apartment has to have a staircase, has to have a lift, has to have the common ways, the clubhouse, etc., etc. All that is built into your SBA. Okay,
Yes.
whereas in a villa, I don't have these extra open spaces, common areas. So 95% of the space availability is generally given to you as a super built up area, or as an actual usage, and your land is completely yours. So it's a huge I
Land
think
and
benefit from what you can look at an apartment and look at a villa. I said there's a little contrast between apartment and a villa, so I think you're getting to understand what the contrast is all about. Okay, yeah.
So we get a villa and the land.
Land
as
in
our
your own,
own.
in your name as an investment. Yeah.
Yes.
So your generations are clear that this land belongs to my family. So you're very clear, very sure about what you're holding as an asset.
True.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. And we see that the area is almost like 48 acres, and there's 90 plus amenities that's been provided. That number sounds very huge when we think of a villa, and having 90 plus amenities around, it's something huge. So what was the idea behind providing so much amenities?
I've been stressing the point that 48 acres is a lot of lifestyle facility we are offering. Okay, and also I'm using the word wellness, which is a big word in the social circuits of India. Okay, and maybe all
And
the
real
world.
estate as
Okay,
well.
so wellness and lifestyle.
Yeah.
If you don't provide these amenities of 95 plus amenities and the lovely green parks, I think the wellness and my lifestyle will not make justice.
Justified.
So we thought it should happen. So if you look at the brochure, what I showed it to you, we got about 7 theme parks in the whole 48 acres of development. Okay, and parks are a scarcity.
Yeah.
I live in Koramangala, so I don't have many parks to go and walk. Even if I'm walking there, there are hundreds of cars, and there are time zones which I can't go there, etc., etc. Limitations are there in public places where you can go and use it. Okay, you want to walk to the park, I have to be very careful in which route do I take to walk to that park, because the traffic is so hazardous in nature.
Yeah.
Okay, the roads are not the best to walk on. The footpaths are not very leveled and even. So I've got my own reservations about going to parks in established markets of Bangalore. Okay. So here is a place where you have no worry on the levels of your road, the levels of your footpath. Okay, the greenery is very limited to your community.
Yeah.
So the social fabric is very kind of a high quality.
True.
Okay, somebody said your project is like a social capital of Bangalore. Socially, it is so good. Okay, the amenities, the size of your villa, the road sizes, okay, the greenery, and the people who are going to come here are going to be more or less the same status levels. Okay, and with so much of parks and green, if you look at my 2.5 acre park, which is defined to be a sports arena, there's a basketball court, tennis court, swimming pool, all of that. Okay, look at all of that, plus 6 more parks to walk on. There is something called the skating flooring which is cemented for skating exclusively. Okay, there is a senior citizen park. There is something for yoga. There's something for many other things. Okay, I've got it all in the brochure. Okay, but that's how the whole concept of 48 acres of themed zone is socially very vibrant.
Yes.
Okay, you don't have the social capital happening in many of the cultures of Bangalore's development. Okay, so I think I'm happy that I'm part of a system, Peram Group, where I'm making that investment so comfortable and so socially encouraging for them to live a long, beautiful lifestyle here.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they'll need more time to cover all those 90 amenities and enjoy them after owning the villa.
I think so. Now, you have different age groups at home, okay? So I may not go and play tennis or basketball. I would like to walk a long journey. So if I walk till the gate, I'm walking about 2-3 kilometers, okay? So that's a lovely thing to do. And the simplest exercise a doctor advises you is a good walk. So I think most of the parents will walk and play a few games.
Yes.
But I think a little senior in age would like to walk than go and stress yourself with some games, etc. While the kids are freaking it out on your spool and all the physical games. I think it's a lovely arena. We are offering the new growth zone of Hoskote.
Yeah. So is there any particular amenity you are personally more excited about?
Well, I used to be a good badminton player, which is always available to me here. But after a certain bone rubbing and usage of my muscles with very heavy badminton, I moved to a game for golf. So I play a little bit of golf on and off. Yeah. It's a more leisure game, more of walking. So I prefer to play golf whenever I get the time to play. Okay. Otherwise, I like to walk. Like I said, walking is the best thing. And yes, from an aerobic point of view, I think I go to the pool occasionally. So there's a
We
pool.
also saw the swimming pool area.
Yes, it is there. It is there. So a pool also is a nice place. I like to dip myself occasionally. I'm a little by rotation. I don't like to get bored with one sport all the time. I like to rotate my hobby so that I don't get bored with one particular game. So I think if that is the way an individual wants to live like me, I think I've given him more than what is required by a nice family.
True. So what is the current starting price and the position timeline for a buyer who's looking for something exactly like Eco City?
See, my basic launch price is 7,999. Okay. There is an add-on for clubhouse and some infrastructure charges to the tune of about 450.
Okay.
So it's about 8,450 is my all-inclusive price. Okay. A little while ago, I discussed the price points of the market. Okay, particularly Hoskote micro market where villas are getting mushroomed all over. Okay. Now we are declaring the price to the market as all-inclusive price. I didn't want to confuse the customer when he comes to my table for a discussion. I'm going to charge you this plus. It's a little psychological barrier, or he gets a little annoyed with say you declare it at this price, but when I come here, you give me the add-ons. Okay, so it's a little popular in the real estate market today. It's called the box price. Okay, generally now it is called the box price. Most people are following that, but in the villa segment, as of now in the Hoskote micro market and surroundings, it is still a basic plus. Okay. So if I'm giving a price of 8,450, all inclusive, except your government levies, which is your registration and GST, okay, I think there's a huge benefit on the new price that I'm offering, okay, and like I said, to make it more incentivized, we are making that EMI, no pre-EMI offer. We are giving the flexi payment option, which is very unique in a way that we are trying to help buyers who have a mindset of moving out of the busy growth parts of Bangalore. Okay, and if there's a little bit of financial planning to be done, we encourage that plan very seriously and try and help him own the villa automatically.
So one thing I observe after talking about the villa style and the amenities, there are people who look for an independent house for freedom, but they end up in an apartment because they want a community and amenities. So I feel Eco City blends both very well and gives a good justification to what they are looking for. Would you like to add something to this?
You see, well, I'll tell you one good reason why people want more of apartments today, okay? Not because the apartment is not good or there are no amenities, etc., etc. Now, there is a clutter. There's a lot of traffic around your apartment, okay? The commute is becoming difficult, okay? And the pollution levels are high, okay? And if you look at my ventilation, now we're sitting in the villa, the model villa, if you see my ventilation is definitely 100% more than what you can get in an apartment, okay? I'm not disputing that the apartment may not have good ventilation, but generically, the villas have got more light, more air flow in the villa. Okay, and it's a very practical tool. We are viewing the villa window there. It's huge. It's from the ground till the top. Okay, so the ventilation part is excellent, and the lighting part is another important criteria for people to, make a good home. Okay, so these are some of the limitations of an apartment. And earlier, commute to town and commute to office was a big priority. Okay, again, I told you my experience of 20 years. Earlier in my experience, people would say, my office is there, Gautam, I want an apartment here. Maybe a 20 minutes drive or a 25 minutes drive. Okay, if his wife is probably working, which today normally in last 10 years, I think the ladies also, the women folk also are in the working side. So they were looking dominantly for a house around both their offices. Okay, so an apartment was really a requirement which they felt was a must.
Yes.
It was meeting the wants of their immediate requirements, all right? Today, it's not the scenario. Okay, there's something called the hybrid working culture, where you have many of the boys and girls working from home. I've met many youngsters in the range of 35 and 30 and 40 years of age. Today, most of them have a facility of working from home. So their commute to office has dipped quite a bit. Okay, that commute to office, which used to be a pain earlier, that's where they're looking for an apartment close to their workspace. Okay, close to the children's school. Okay, and a little bit of social infrastructure like a hospital and all that should have been close to where the house was being bought. But I think that scenario has shifted quite a bit in terms of what they want today. Hybrid is one big area. Another big disruption is your COVID. Okay, post-COVID, the space was not a very big criteria. You needed 2 bedrooms, you needed a 3-bedroom, a little bit of functionality compromise. You need to be a functional house. You need to have space which can be moved easily with your body. A kitchen, your bedroom, your storeroom should be easily to move around. So it's called functionality. Okay, so even the functionality part was being compromised if my apartment was close to the working place. Okay, and the price was not very cheap or something. They were paying quite a bit on those limited options what they had. But today, I think the mindset has completely moved out from that zone of being close to office, commute time, commute to your CBD, Central Bangalore District for entertainment, etc. I think today everything has moved indoors, and you have a lot of these apps moving around. Okay, you want a movie, you have a cab coming to your door, you have grocery coming to your door. So I think these revolutionary changes in the way we are working and leading our lifestyles, the mindset also has moved to getting into bigger spaces. Okay, and villas generically, I think there is a very serious understanding that a villa will not be available to you in corporation limits. Villa needs space. Like mine is a 48-acre villa, but even a villa of 10 acres or 15 acres is about 150 villas and all that stuff. Okay, it's not really available in these grown saturated markets. Okay, even if it's available, the price is 3 times or 2 times or 3 times or 4 times the price what he would like to pay compared to a villa in Eco City. Okay, so there's no choice from a villa buying. I think he has to move to a periphery of Bangalore, which is a given. It is a defined situation on villa concepts in Bangalore. Right from my earlier days of my professions, villas never came about corporation limits. It always on the periphery of Bangalore. Earlier it was to the periphery of Whitefield, which had some vacant lands at a very decent prices, so people could buy a villa and it could be manageable. But since all these pockets are getting so full, you have to move to the so-called peripheries or the external sides of the extensions of Bangalore. Okay, today no more an extension.
Yeah.
Hoskote, Devanhalli, Kanakpura Road, Banarghata are no more extensions of Bangalore. It is becoming a part and parcel of the Bangalore, city limits. Okay, so that's a big plus where people want to come back to a villa which is much more economical,
Yeah.
much more bigger in size, no commute worries about going to office, no worries about going to central Bangalore for any kind of entertainment. Okay, all these little nice things which technology has evolved. I think it's making them move a little away and get a better lifestyle, a better facility for children, better space for the whole family.
Yeah.
Okay, I think there's a complete shift in the way villas are being seen today.
With Get Right Property, your trusted real estate partner, you pay the buyer's price, there's 0% brokerage, no hidden charges. And guess what? If you book through Get Right Property, you get the latest iPhone as a gift to start your celebration. And now, sir, actually, I would want to know more about Eco City and Villa. I guess we should shift from our living room to a better
Yeah,
lounge.
pleasure. We'll do that. Why not? I would love to showcase a little bit of my villa and talking to you, and let's give a little more perceptions about what my villa is all about.
Change
Okay.
for some time.
Yeah. Well, it's a lovely drawing room, so we'll go to another lovely place in the villa itself. Okay, come along. Let's go.
So I also feel there's another big concern to a lot of buyers, which is water. How is the water facility given to Eco City? Is it individually given particular to Eco City, or is it the general government? Sir, I feel even as a kid and even till today, I get excited about this lift facility. So is the lift facility included in the construction, or it's a facility if the buyer wants it? One of the big concerns, the parking facility when it comes to huge apartments or even when it comes to an independent house. So in an Eco City here, how is the parking facility given, and especially if it is a visitor, is there a separate parking facility for them?
Yeah, parking is one of the most difficult criterias of Bangalore's living today. Okay,